All right, everyone, welcome back to New Life Furniture. Yes, it's been a while since I posted, but we're gonna do another flip today. I found a great piece here. As you can see, we got a nice coffee table, great looking thick top, great thick side legs, and a little underboard there that's all broken. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna show you guys how to quickly flip one of these and turn it from something old ugly like that into something real beautiful. First, we'll take our hammer and we're gonna remove some of these boards underneath. I already had it halfway done for some good movie effect right there. So we're gonna take those boards out. We're gonna remove some of these side boards right here. And then we're gonna sand this. Okay, and I'll show you guys another new trick that I'm doing. Kind of the same way I did from last time, but I'm gonna show you something that's even faster and quicker. We're not gonna sit there so much making it such a progression to be super smooth. I'm gonna leave it rustic and chunky. And we're gonna show you that you can use minimal tools, minimal time, and make something this ugly look really nice and clean. So let's go ahead and we'll start busting off those boards and getting this thing prepped and ready to go. Okay, now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take down our top edge because we're gonna be staining that. So we're gonna spray paint this base here white with just a simple spray can. You can get it from any store. This is a flat white. You can use gloss white, doesn't really matter. Whatever's cheapest. Any type of white. We're gonna spray paint it after we tape off the top because the top is gonna get the stain on it. So once we tape, we're gonna spray paint the whole base. Then we're gonna take our stain, wipe down over the entire table, over the white and onto the exposed top. Then we're gonna sand it down to expose it and make it rustic, and then a clear coat to finish the whole thing. So let's go ahead and do it. Woo! Okay, y'all, so we spray painted, as you can see, the whole table white, okay? So now that it's white, we're gonna take our sandpaper, okay? You wanna have a dense, hard grit, so this one we're gonna go with 60. So you wanna stay low, probably under 120. 120, 180, 60, somewhere's in there. I like 60. I hit it and just find my spots. And what we're gonna do is just expose some of these little areas that are gonna get stained anyways. The whole thing's getting stained. But you'll see when we expose these little areas with the sandpaper, it's really gonna show us some character and some age to our product here. So again, hit it with 60 grit and let's go. Okay, everyone, so we just finished with the sanding, took off all the tape, so we're ready for the stain. I'm gonna use the same type of stain that I use on all the rest of the furniture. I got a mini wax wood finish Jacoby bean. You can use chocolate as a nice finish, Jacoby bean, anything that's really rich and pure and just has that really nice texture, that real brown texture, I think really goes with this rustic farm chic kind of distressed look with white, okay? So what we're gonna do is, like I said, we're just taking a cloth, dip it in there, and we're gonna rub it on the whole thing, nice and heavy, and then with a dry cloth, you're gonna follow behind and wipe it. So make sure you guys don't do the whole furniture because it'll start to dry on you. So you just wanna do it in little quarter sections. So what you wanna do is just do this quarter to about here, take your dry cloth, wipe it off, wipe it off. Take your wet, do this quarter. Take your dry cloth, wipe it off. Okay? That's the process. Let's do it together. So again, you're putting it right over the white. Don't worry about it. That's the point. Of course, you're going to be nervous. You're going to be like, oh, I'm ruining it. You're not ruining it. Don't worry. This will look even better as it comes through. And really make sure you guys rub it into all those little spots, okay? Make sure you get it right into all the grooves, all those little cracks and crevices, right? Okay, so we're getting it in there. Beautiful. As I said, you're going to take your dry cloth, okay? Take the dry, and you're going to start to remove some of that excess. Okay, there you go. And look at that. Remember, the harder you rub, the more it's going to come off. Okay, so you want to be on top of it. Don't rub too hard to start. And if you don't like the look, start going harder. Okay. Keep it moving, y'all. Look at that. Look at that. Okay, now let's keep going. Okay, everyone, we had to move the table inside. Started getting dark. A little bit too cold, so we got to go inside the garage. But check it out. Look how this is turning out. Super stoked. Like I said, when you throw that dark stain and wipe it off, you're going to get a lot of these. See how it shows all these contours and marks? And see how the stain goes into these crevices and really puts that pop, that vibrant look to it. And it's pretty white. I mean, it's still, it's definitely got that old farm dirtiness look to it that you want to find, which is really hot and in right now for design. So what we're going to do is some people are going to say, oh, I'd leave it. It looks great with that top. But I'm telling you, that's a 1980, light color top. You really want to use that rich, deep chocolate or Jacoby bean that we got on that top. So let's do it now and show you what it looks like. So again, just take it, throw it right on. I'm just going to throw it right on here. All right, put it right there. Right there. So you guys can already see how this is going to turn out. Okay? Look at that, look at that. And again, if you want it to be lighter color, wipe it off early, right? Wipe it off early and you can get most of it off, right? You can see how we start getting most of it off? It shows that real nice, brings out all the knots and texture, okay? Now you can leave it like that, but I think we want to go a little bit darker. Looks a little bit nicer with the darker than with the soft top, so let's keep going. Looking good, y'all. Okay, now check this out. Remember how I said I like it real dark, okay? So you see some of these spots that aren't getting the darkness? All you want to do is just keep adding it, okay? And you just feather it. You feather it out, and that'll give you your dark spots or whatever you want. Just anytime you don't like what you see, keep adding more. And then you lightly feather. Feather, guys, feather. But make sure it doesn't look like it's stain, and then there you go. That'll give you the dark spots you want. See that? Seems light. So I'm going to hit it there and then feather it out. Right? Look at that. That's how you do it. Right? Feather it out. And if you want kind of those, cool spots, maybe you hit a couple of dirt spots somewhere, right? And just leave them. Hit a couple of those dirt spots, lightly feather. Maybe you don't even want to take them out. Just add a little bit more of that texture in there. A little bit more of that dirt, rustic. Maybe a little bit over here. Seems like it needs some. Yeah. Okay. And that'll dry. That'll dry like that, y'all. That'll dry like that. And you'll get that look. You'll get that look. See? That's what we want. That's what we want. That's the real stuff. Oh, yeah, man. That's what... Woo-wee! Give me some of that. That's how you make money right there. All right, everyone, we're back. It's the next day. I let the table sit overnight just to harden up on the stain here as we added a couple little bit thicker spots to try to darken it up. Now, what you want to do if you do that on the next day, you want to make sure before we gloss it and seal everything in, because remember, the gloss is the last aspect that we do. So glossing is sealing in all your work. So you want to make sure that you're happy with everything. So I'm going to walk around. You want to check on your pieces here in case anything's dripped, or maybe your hand touched it and there's a fingerprint, or maybe somehow you put a rag or something touched it. So you just want to make sure, walk around, make sure everything's nice and clean before we seal it up. Now I've already done that, so that's finished, so we're good. Now we're just going to seal it up. I got some poly clear here, water-based, so that should be pretty good. And I use this on most of my other projects. I got a little bit left here in the can. So you can use anything that you feel good, that maybe do some research if you want to get a satin finish or a gloss finish. Pretty sure this is going to be a gloss from what I can see. My pan here, or you can use anything. It lasts a long time. You can see it's full of rust, been sitting outside for a while, but everything in there is still good. So we're just going to throw that on there. I'm pretty sure it's a gloss. So we'll be happy with that on here, I think. Now, what I like to do is I usually start at the bottoms. I'll go on the bottom and just lightly put it on, and then I do the tops last. I make sure my tops are good. And I only do that because, again, if I do my top first and then I start working bottom, some people do that because it drips and it overhangs and they catch it. But the top is the last piece that I want to make sure is perfect. So I like to do all my perfect stuff last. That way I can really concentrate, make sure everything's good, and get that done. So let's go ahead and start throwing this on. And you guys can see when I put it down, I put it quite heavy, right? I put my top quite heavy when I got my sides already done. I really kind of do X marks, get it really into all the crevices, everywhere that I want it to go, right? Get it really in there. And then I'll usually try to finish off with nice clean strokes across. That way, when it dries, you don't see too much of that brush strokes in any type of ways that you don't want, in any ugly type of X's or anything. So you always want to make continuous same strokes and go over the whole project and just make sure it's even, nice, and finished. And that's how we want. So let's keep going and finish this thing off. Ooh wee! So when we're just finishing off the top, I do quite a heavy coat on it. And then what I want to do is I want to take my eye with some light and I want to see the sheen. And when you guys look at the sheen, you can see certain spots, let's say, where maybe the poly, the clear, isn't looking good. So you can just put a little bit more from your brush on it and then go over the whole thing with long, straight coats all the way. So when I put a couple little more spots, as you can see, I added a little bit more on spots that weren't looking too good. And then all I'm going to do is take my brush and I'm just going to do full lengths. Full lengths. Make sure the brush strokes are all the way. That way, when it dries, you don't have any weird spots, okay? No weird spots, all the way. And it's nice, even, all the way, okay? Light on your brush, light on your brush. There you go. And then again, look over your spots, make sure you're happy, because that's the way it's gonna dry. And then once it's dried, you can't stop it, right? So see, even here. Touched up that little bit with my brush. I'm gonna do the whole thing again. Whole thing. Boom. Because I don't want those brush strokes that I just did. And I'm telling you, it's small details, but you'll see it. If you don't. And that's why I like to do my top last. That way I just know I got what I wanted. I'm happy with it. And that's how I want it. Look on your sides. Make sure you just touch up your sides. And you walk around your sides, right? A little light edge touch-up work. So.